we shall be reading Why Do Good Bears Have Bad Days from the Sister Bear book favorites. And it's also the last one. It was the start of a beautiful day deep in bear country. Morning sunlight slanted down as a robin redbreast splashed in a fresh bird bath. At the bear family's treehouse, brother and sister came bouncing down the front steps, ready for a day of fishing at the pond. Honey Bear was too young for a long bike ride, so she would stay home and play. The cubs stowed their fishing gear on their bikes and waving to Mom and Pop and Honey eagerly to set off. It was a long ride. Brother and sister paddled down the sunny dirt road, past Farmer Ben's farm, around the old honey tree, and through some shadowy woods to a little valley. There, tucked behind some willows, lay the pond. It was dark and still. Lily pads dotted the surface and dragonflies zipped to and fro. A fish leaped in with a plop. "I bet that's an old granddaddy bass I've been wanting to catch," said Brother. "Let's get our lines in the water and see if we can get a bite." Brother and sister baited their hooks and cast out. Sister's line went right to the middle of the pond, but Brother snagged on an overhanging branch. "Rats!" he said, yanking at his line. It was stuck fast. He bounced on a rock to pull it from a different direction. But his foot slipped, and with a huge splash, he fell into the pond. He stood up in the shallows, soaking wet. Sister couldn't help but laughing. He looked so funny standing there, dripping. Brother was not amused. Climbing out, he wrung out his shirt and pants. Then he discovered he dropped his fishing rod in the pond. He poked around but couldn't find it. "Oh, no," Brother groaned. "No more fishing for me today." "Don't worry," Sister said. "I'll share my rod with you." "Thanks," Brother replied. "Hey," Sister hollered. "I think I have a bite." She began to reel her line, but her bowl bent over more and more. "You must have hooked onto something," Brother said. Sister yanked the pole, trying to pull the hook loose. "Careful," Brother said. But Sister yanked harder, but there was a loud crack as her fishing rod broke in two. Oh dear. The cubs stared at the broken rod. With sinking hearts, they realized their day of fishing was over. "It's not fair," Sister said as they climbed on their bikes. We had the day all planned, and just like that, it's over." "Yes," agreed Brother. "Where did we go wrong?" They slowly pedaled their way out of the valley and through the woods. At least Brother was drying out. But as soon as they noticed it was getting harder and harder to pedal, suddenly they found both their bikes had flat tires. Big nails were stuck to each tire. "What lousy luck," said Brother. "First we lose our fishing rods, and then this. It's not fair," said Sister again. "We don't deserve it." Glumly, the cubs walked their bikes homeward, but it was an awkward wheeling the bikes along on flat tires. They made their way around the old honey tree and were passing Farmer Ben's place when they heard a distant rumble. "Oh no," said Brother. "Thunder." They tried to move faster, but dark clouds gathered, and the thunder grew louder. Suddenly, rain swept over them. The cubs were drenched in seconds. The storm quickly passed, but the cubs were thoroughly cold, wet, and miserable. "This is too much," said Brother. "First we lose our fishing rods, then we get flat tires, and now we're soaked." "It's not fair," said Sister. "Why is this happening to us?" That's when they noticed Cousin Fred, Lizzie, and Susie coming down the road. They weren't wet. They must have found shelter during the storm. "Hi, Brother." "Hi, Sister," said Fred. "What happened to you? Did you get caught in the storm?" "Yes," said Brother. "We've really had a rotten day. First I fell in the pond and lost my fishing rod. Then Sister broke her rod in half. Finally we got flat tires and were drenched in the storm." Oh, that's too bad, said Lizzie. You know, it makes you wonder why good bears have bad days. My grandmother always says it's because God is punishing us for something, said Susie matter-of-factly. That can't be true, said Sister. We haven't done anything wrong. Why would God punish us? Said Fritz. You mean you've never done anything wrong in your whole lives? Well, said Sister, I guess sometimes. Then, it's like my grandmother said Susie, shrugging her shoulders. God must be punishing you for something. With a wave, their friends left brother and sister to squish their way home. Back at the treehouse, Mama and Papa took charge, whisking brother and sister out of their wet clothes and pouring them mugs of hot chocolate. Henny had some too. Brother and sister felt better, but they were still upset about their bad day. Mama, said Sister, why did such bad things happen to us? We met some of our friends on the way home. They said God must be punishing us for something. Mama and Papa burst out laughing. What utter nonsense, said Mom. God loves you and watches over you. Even when you make mistakes, He forgives you if you're sorry and try to do better. But, asked Brother, if God is watching over us, why did He let all those bad things happen to us? Son, said Papa, that's something folks have been asking for a long time. I think the best way to look at it is that God watches over us, but it doesn't change the way the world works for our comfort. He's not going to cancel a thunderstorm just because we happen to be outdoors. Then how does God watch over us? Wondered Sister. I believe God watches over that which He created deep inside us, said Mama. The special part of us that belongs to Him and has faith in Him. What do you mean? Asked Brother. Well, said Papa, in church you've heard a preacher around talk about our souls, haven't you? Brother and Sister nodded. Our souls are part of us that God protects and saves us from danger. God explained. No storms or accidents can hurt our souls if we have faith in God. Brother and Sister thought it over. It was a little hard to understand, but it did make them feel better knowing God was watching over them deep down inside. And the hot chocolate made them feel better too, but not as much as the big warm hugs from Mom and Papa. Okay, that's the end. Like I said, last story in the book. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll just see you next time.